My first Pacino flick? Really? Okay, everybody, we all know he was Ante Montana, and we all know he's one of the Corleones. But did you also know he was a guy named Arthur Kirkland? Well, that's what we're going to take a look at when we go all the way back to 1979 to look at Al Pacino in And Justice for All. Before we go any further, before we dive into this gem anymore, once and again, and as always, to the trailer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Arthur Kirkland, and I am the defense counsel for the defendant.
And to the republic for which it stands.
Look, if you're going to try to make a deal with me, you might wind up right back in jail.
Well, if everyone agrees that I'm innocent, how come I'm going back to jail?
One nation under God is indivisible.
It's the law. It's insane.
Liberty and justice for all.
And justice is, as any reasonable person would tell you, the finding of the truth.
He goes to law school.
I'm a lawyer.
You are also a revolting, despicable scum of the earth.
Ooh, he recommended you real high. So you're not going to ask me, are you now, or have you ever been a lawyer?
That wasn't amusing, Mr. Kirkland.
You talk to me like that, you're not going to get me into bed, dear.
Yes, I will.
Judge, we're ready to reconvene. We're right there. This is a man who's making value decisions on people's lives.
Wait a minute!
He did not have to go to jail!
It's nickel and dime, Arthur! It's all nickel and dime!
Don't you care? What? Don't you even care? This is their thing. They gear up for this kind of thing, Jeff. The prosecution is not going to get that man today. You don't threaten the judge! I move for a mistrial! Mike! Man there! That man, if he's allowed to go free, then something really wrong is going on here. Mr. Kirkland, you are out of order! You're out of order! You're out of order! The whole trial is out of order!
Gentlemen, need I remind you, you are in a court of law?
Hold it! Hold it! I just completed my opening statement!
Alright, this motion picture was directed by Norman Jewison. Come on, man, let's do this. We're talking, he did The Cincinnati Kid. He did The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming, also known as the News Media 2018. He did Jesus Christ Superstar, which you know I love, and In the Heat of the Night, and Fist, and Moonstruck, and The Hurricane, and The Thrill of It All, and Rollerball, for God's sake. So, this guy did some legendary shit. I say no more. Okay, played Arthur Kirkland. We got Al Pacino. Do we even really need to do this? Well, maybe so. Let's go. We're talking about he has been in stuff like Any Given Sunday, in Heat, in The Devil's Advocate, in Carlito's Way, in Sea of Love, in Scent of a Woman, and of course, you know, Godfather 1, 2, 3, 72, whatever, it doesn't make a difference. And Serpico, and The Insider, and Glengarry Glen Ross, and Frankie and Johnny, and my personal favorite of all of them, Dog Day Afternoon. Shit. Anyway, let's keep going. Playing Judge Rayford, you know I'm a big fan. Jack Warden. Let's do this. Obviously, he has been in great stuff. We're talking about he has been in stuff like Shampoo, and All the President's Men, and Heaven Can Wait, and Death on the Nile, and The Champ, and The White Buffalo, and The Verdict, and The Aviator, and The Presidio, and Problem Child, and Being There, and Carbon Copy, and Used Cars, which I've already reviewed, and said what a masterful performance he gave in that motion picture. So, been around. You know I like the dude. Playing Judge Fleming, John Forsythe. Let's go. We're talking about he has been in great stuff like The Trouble with Harry and Scrooge and Madam Max, but really, he's a TV guy. You know what I mean? We're talking about he was like a To Rome with Love and Police Story and Bachelor Father, who can remember that? Or forget that, I should say. And Climax and Dynasty and The Colbys, which, you know, he was in that for fucking ages and famous for that. But to me, he will always be Charlie, the voice on Charlie's Angels. Is what it is. Playing Sam Kirkland, Lee Strasberg. Now, Lee Strasberg, really, that much of her acting career? Not really. I mean, he's only popped up in a few things. We're talking about things like, you know, Godfather 2 and Boardwalk and Going in Style and The Cassandra Crossing. But he was really known as being an acting teacher who did, like, I mean, I don't even think it was like 10, 12 things on camera. But is what it is. He's in this. That's all we care about. Playing Jay, Jeffrey Tambor. A face you're going to recognize. Anyway, let's do this. We're talking about he has been in all kinds of stuff like City Slickers and Pollock. But, you know, really, he's a TV guy. That's it. American Dreamer, The Larry Sanders Show, Everything's Relative, LA Law, Max Headroom, Hill Street Blues, Three's Company, 9 to 5, The Ropers, Kojak, Taxi. So, come on, man. That guy's face, as soon as you see him, you know you've seen him in a million goddamn things. Jeffrey Tambor was a TV staple for decades. Playing Gail, Christine Lahti. Let's do this. Big TV career too. A couple movies is what it is. Anyway, we're talking about she has been in things like Swing Shift and Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. Anybody remember that? Probably not. Maybe. And Miss Firecracker. But on TV, really, is her home. Just like Jeffrey Tambor. We're talking Law and Order and The Blacklist and Hawaii Five-0 and Jack and Bobby and Chicago Hope and America and The Harvey Korman Show. Do you guys even remember the Harvey Korman Show? It doesn't make a difference, but she was there. Enough said. And I'm telling you also, there is a list of people in this motion picture. It's a who's who treasure trove of personalities. I'm telling you. We're talking about like Craig T. Nelson from like Poltergeist and Action Jackson, and Sam Levene from like, you know, The Killers and God Told Me To, and Robert Christian. You know, he was in like Bustin' Loose and Prince of the City. Did I almost say Prince of the Shitty? Whatever. Prince of the City. And, you know, Tom Waits, because we all know from like The Thing and The Warriors, and Larry Bryggman, who was on I just remember his face because my grandmother used to love soap operas, and he was on that as The World Turns for like decades. I just remember him from there like it was yesterday. And there's a bunch of other people too. I'm not even going to tell you who they were. Just think movies like Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Think all kinds of shit. You're going to see them pop up in this motion picture, left and right. Okay, everybody, we're going to do this in 90 seconds or less, so we can keep this short, keep it fast, keep it entertaining, and get to where we would all much rather be. The summation. You got Arthur Kirkland, Al Pacino. He's an attorney. Movie starts out, he's sitting in a jail cell. Why is he sitting in a jail cell? Well, contempt of court when he tried to punch a judge. See, he had some evidence that would completely prove that this kid in jail is innocent. Tried to give it to the judge, but it was 3 days late, so the judge didn't give a shit. Didn't want to hear it. Letting this innocent guy sit there and rot. Nah, that's not too cool. Anyway, long story short, at one point, that very judge gets in some serious trouble. Gets accused of rape. Well, that's not too fucking cool. And who do they hire to help him out? Who do they hire to defend him? Al Pacino himself. Arthur Kirkland. He doesn't want the job. Doesn't need the job. Doesn't want to defend this guy. He fucking hates this guy. But they're blackmailing him. They're going to tell him to his face, kind of, that if he doesn't represent this Judge Fleming, they're going to bring up some stuff from his past where he turned in one of his clients for being a psychopath to the police and destroy his career. So it's defend this guy or you're going to be out of the job. Along the way, you get to meet some of his friends, some other lawyers that wind up in some situations that are hairy and scary, and some lawyers that, you know, do a couple forgetful things, leads to some sad situations, is what it is. Also, he falls for this chick that's on a review board that's overseeing all the lawyers. And you get to meet his old grandpa that he likes to go visit in the old age home. Amongst all of that, Arthur Kirkland has to do the right thing because he finds out that the judge he's defending accused of rape, he fucking really did it. So what's he going to do? Is he going to do the right thing? Blow the whistle? Is he going to do the wrong thing? Save his ass? Who really knows? I ain't going to tell you, but you'll find out. Alright everybody, doesn't Justice for All work? Yes, and Justice for All works. In a big way. This is a great motion picture. We'll get into all the reasons why. But first, let's get the big three out of the way. The directing. This movie's beautiful to look at. Beautiful to look at, but not too beautiful. That takes it away from being the 70s gritty kind of street drama that it is. So it's spot on, and it works. The writing, the dialogue in this is top notch. You're going to be glued to the dialogue. The dialogue is kind of what sells us. Well, at least half of what sells us. This motion picture is written great, spot on. Need I say more? In the acting, oh my God. That's where this motion picture shines, folks. Even if you don't like the subject, even if it's too dark, even if it's too whatever, you're going to have to watch this movie, or you should watch this movie, just for the acting alone. The cast in this knocks it out the park. There's no weak links. There's nobody where you're saying, oh, everybody is on this level and he's on that level. Everybody brings it. Everybody delivers it. From the top to the bottom, every character, I don't give a shit who it is. If you point at them this motion picture, I'm going to say they did a great job because they did. Now let's get back on track with everything. Why does this movie work? Because it's a great morality tale. It's a morality tale unfolding in front of you where you're always questioning what's going to happen, what are they going to do, and how are they going to handle this. And the point of you is played by the lead character. You see, he's trapped up in this whole world of the legal system. He's a lawyer, but he knows how it really works. He knows there's defense lawyers and prosecutors cutting backroom deals so that they all can come out a winner and ahead. They don't care about the clients. They don't care about if justice is served and the guilty are put away. They don't care if justice is served and the guilty go free or the innocent are put away. It doesn't really make a difference. With this, it's all about winning. And this motion picture pushes that heavily to the forefront with some of the darkest subject matter you could ever want, or maybe not want, in a motion picture. This motion picture is loaded with downers. I mean, you have a rape victim, you have somebody commit suicide, you have somebody trying to commit suicide, you have somebody who gets somebody off and then goes insane because the person he got off went and killed 2 kids. It's just one big, heavy kind of downer of a movie, which they keep you interested in by layering in humor, of all things. And Justice for All has a lot of scenes in it where you're going to laugh and you're going to say, oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh my God, I can relate to this. You know, when his friends drag him into the bathroom to tell him the new assignment he's been given. You can remember days at work like that. You remember moments with your friends like that. You can see things like that. And there's so many little moments like that put in to make you laugh. So many moments put in to make you sit there and chuckle during a movie that's dealing with heavy, dark subjects from literally the beginning to literally the end. And I think that was a wise choice. Maybe in a couple parts that you say to yourself, oh, maybe they could have necked it just a little bit down. But it never goes too far to pull you out of the motion picture. It never goes so far as to ruin the heaviness of the motion picture and the seriousness of what you're watching. But it is light enough to keep you engaged in the movie, where if it wasn't for that, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, what am I watching? You know, everything is death, downer, downer, death, death, downer. So it has a dark humor to it that keeps you floating through, watching this morality tale, watching it with a character that basically plays you, maybe an overly optimistic version of you, maybe an overly critical version of you, but it's supposed to be you nonetheless. And that's what keeps you moving through this motion picture, and it keeps you engaged. And I gotta say also, I know there's been a lot of great courtroom drama flicks, but to me, this was always one of the most interesting. Keep in mind, this was 1970s, folks. This is going back. This is before court TV and a million TV show dramas about court. I mean, back then, maybe you had Ironside with a couple court scenes, and whatever. But this motion picture really pushed to the forefront the craziness that the lawyers have to deal with, the craziness that the judges have to deal with, the craziness of the system that's driving everybody crazy. And it throws it into the light where maybe it had not been in the light before. The performance given by Pacino in this is one of the great performances. I know we got a Few Good Men. I know we have other motion pictures. I think even the court scene, like A Scent of a Woman, all those kind of things was phenomenal. But to me, this is one of the great courtroom dramas that gets unjustly left behind, unjustly forgotten, unjustly unspoken of in the career of Al Pacino and in the realm of 1970s movies. And Justice for All gives you everything you can want in a motion picture. It leaves you walking away like, wow, that was some good shit. And strangely, does not get talked about enough. And that's kind of a shame. That's kind of a crime. Maybe his career was so big, speaking of Pacino's, that all his other iconic roles just kind of dwarf this one. But this movie, his performance and that character all deserve to be up there with the rest of the Montanas and all the other bullshit that he's ever done in his life. Watching Justice for All, criminally overlooked, way, way, way under the radar for what should be a legendary flick. Okay, everybody, as always, once and again, be good, take care, stay out of trouble, help a friend, be kind to a stranger, but above all else, never, and I mean under any circumstances, take any bullshit from anybody. See you soon.